A phrase you might have heard in the news recently is global stocktake. It's a topic that will dominate the global summit that begins in Dubai on November 30th, when nations gather for their most important climate summit to date. Back in 2015, world leaders signed the historic Paris Climate Agreement. Among other commitments, they pledged to try to hold the rise in average global temperatures to under 2 degrees Celsius, and ideally to no more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above what it was at the start of the Industrial Revolution 200 years ago. That's when humans first started pumping greenhouse gases into the atmosphere in a big way. As part of that accord, governments agreed to track their progress and report back every few years. The global stocktake, then, is exactly what it sounds like. It's a chance to take stock of how far we've come and how much farther we have to go in the battle against climate change. It's essentially an inventory of everything the world is doing to fight climate change, whether it is to cut CO2 emissions and other greenhouse gases, to remove carbon from the atmosphere, or to help vulnerable countries adapt and build resilience against the impacts of a warming climate. Now, the stocktake is supposed to take place every 5 years, and this one's the first, which makes it a big deal. It will provide a common reference point to evaluate national and global efforts based on objective technical analysis. And because it's transparent, it should help citizens and activists hold their governments accountable for their successes and failures. The hope is that the stocktake will spur governments that are falling short to ratchet up their ambitions as they prepare for the next round of climate action plans that they're supposed to submit in 2025. We desperately need this. A slew of international reports from bodies like the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is driving home the same message. The world is badly off course in meeting its climate objectives. We're seeing record-setting temperatures and catastrophic storms and wildfires that can no longer be called natural disasters. Even more alarming, critical parts of the Earth system, from the Amazon rainforest to the Antarctic ice sheets, are approaching catastrophic tipping points. Crossing over these thresholds could lead to abrupt changes in a way that makes climate change even worse. There are some bright spots. The world is now investing in clean technologies and renewable energy, and many countries and companies have promised to reach net zero emissions, but it's simply not happening fast enough. Wealthy countries are not delivering on the trillions of dollars of financing the world needs to shift to a post-carbon economy, and subsidies for fossil fuels remain at record levels. The global stocktake will allow us to see clearly the distance between what governments have declared on paper and their actual performance. In other words, it's a chance to take stock of the political will of world leaders to deliver real diplomatic energy and financial resources to this existential crisis.